Hi everyone. Just like other days, wedding days start in the morning. Usually this is the time when the bride gets ready with her bridesmaids, and sometimes the mums too. Often there'll be a makeup artist and a hairdresser, hopefully some music playing, and maybe even some croissants. Personally, I think it's a great time of day. I don't think a wedding day starts when you've got your dress on. It starts when you've got your pajamas on, and to me that's just as much a part of the story of the day. I often talk about unwedding weddings, and this is a part of the day that is naturally so. It's a more relaxed time than many people would imagine, and it contrasts nicely with the more formal side of the day that follows. One reason why I recommend documenting the morning is that if a person isn't used to being photographed, it can be nice for that to start in the morning. They can get used to me being around, the sound of the camera clicking occasionally, and we can even have a chat about the day over a cup of tea. So let me share just a few thoughts about photographing the morning preparations. When I arrive, I generally start things off pretty slowly. I might even just sit and chat for a few minutes. If things were relaxed before I arrived, I don't want me turning up with my camera to suddenly change that. As with all photography, lighting is really important. I think the best conditions for morning photos is to have a big tidy room and to get ready in the natural light of a large window. This isn't always possible, but it's something I think I will start suggesting to brides rather than just hoping for. Another important lighting tip is to turn off any lights in the room, especially any orangey ones that are lighting the bride's face. Overhead lighting is especially unflattering. Of course, sometimes you need to have the room lights on, but ideally a big window would suffice. It's definitely something to ask the makeup artist about, as in the morning you're essentially documenting someone else doing their work. While I was thinking about this, I thought that I'd ask Ashley K. Gifford, who's a fantastic makeup artist, what her thoughts were. She said the first thing she does when she arrives is find the best window, then all the lights get switched off. No to orange lights, she says. I wanted to ask her outside of a wedding day, as I've always hoped that the beautiful natural light that's perfect for photographers would be perfect for makeup artists too. It's good to know we're in agreement. By the way, Ashley has her own YouTube channel. I'll put a link for you in the description. Make sure you subscribe, yeah? Oh, and Ashley agrees you should have a great morning playlist too. Something chilled for the start, and then as the morning goes on, getting a little more upbeat gets everyone excited. It's true what a difference it makes though. The sense of anticipation of the morning, experienced in complete silence, can feel quite weird. Put some 80s classics on, and everything feels just right. Anyway, back to photography. Personally, I don't tend to take lots of detail shots of carefully arranged jewellery, but of course the morning is the time to take a picture of the dress. Usually I would hang it on a door, or it can also look nice backlit, hung in front of a window. I haven't made a habit of hanging it from a tree, but I did once. I also take a few detail shots of the dress. I love to get a close-up of the fabric and its patterns. And now for a few boring thoughts about where you need to be and when, but it is important. The morning is the one time of day that having a second photographer is especially useful. That said, I do tend to photograph weddings just on my own. I prefer it that way. If the bride is getting ready at the venue, that's perfect and saves a lot of time. If she's not, then you have to decide when you're going to leave the house or hotel to get to the ceremony. There is a temptation to stay as long as you can to get pictures of the bride when she's finished getting ready and possibly get some shots of her with the bridesmaids too. If she's ready early, there's no problem with this, and they can be some of my favourite photos of the day, but portraits of the bride can always be done later. However, if we can make 5 or 10 minutes for some simple portraits before the ceremony, I actually find this time is way more relaxed than after the ceremony. Time seems more precious in that window between after the ceremony and before the wedding breakfast. There are lots of distractions, people wanting to hug and kiss her and mess up her hair and makeup. But what I want to avoid is staying right until the last minute before the bride leaves the house, and then me getting stuck in traffic or taking a wrong turning and arriving at the venue after her. That's never happened, and it's not going to. So I tend to think it's best to get over to the venue as soon as possible. Usually I find the bride thinks that's a good idea too. That way you can get some photos of the guests and the guys before the ceremony starts. I hope some of these thoughts and pictures are interesting and maybe even helpful if you're looking to photograph weddings. If you have any questions, just ask me in the comments and I'll do my best to answer. Thanks for watching everyone. If you'd like to support my channel, there are a few ways you can do that. A thumbs up is always great, and subscribing helps so much. And now you can even support me on Patreon, where I'll be sharing extra content soon. There is a full preview of my photographs from Athens up there now, along with some chill out music, but no narration just yet. It's a sort of work in progress, and I'll try and post a lot of those in the future. Thanks again everyone, see you in the next one.